Welcome to Octane Mobile Gaming. Welcome once again to the channel. This is Octane, your host, and today we're gonna take a look at the light deck, which is out for the next event, which is a slay event. The deck is an arcane killer. Last week I wasn't able to upload any of my videos because I had problems with my YouTube account. Should be sorted now, so this week we should be okay for a possible deck combination as well as this video. So we're gonna jump right in. We're gonna have a look at this week's deck. Did manage to get a copy of the Master Collection card, and I've got quite a bit of coins, so I will be able to craft the ultra rare. And after the event, I should be able to craft the deck for next week as well, because I should have enough coins. So we're gonna jump right in, take a look at the ultimate form first and foremost. The ultimate form is called Neo Contenders, and let's have a look at the artwork is not too bad. Could be a bit more nicer. The light cards, some of the time I've got really beautiful artwork. This one is okay. It's not too bad, but I've seen far better. So the battle skill for Neo Contenders, it grants the next Light Slayer to activate their battle skill 550% damage buff, which is really a massive damage buff. It lasts for 1 turn, and this is specifically for Light Slayer. It's not like the Santa deck, which grants it to any water card. This is specifically for Light Slayer cards only. If it was for light cards, it would be absolutely brilliant. It would be far better than what it is. It is good, but if it was for all light cards, it would be absolutely brilliant. But it's only for Light Slayer cards, which is not too bad. It also creates 12 Light Power Gem 8s, which is nice. I think that is a reasonable amount of power gem that a ultimate form should create. The minimum should be 12. Maximum can be any amount, but 12 is quite a nice amount of power gems for this ultimate form to create. It heals with its passive, so it's got 2 passive on board, the first of which heals for 5000% of recovery the first time a hero activates their battle skill each turn. So it's only 1 battle skill that activates this passive. The first battle skill to be activated will activate this passive, and you will heal for 5000% of hero's recovery. The second one you'll become immune to enemy's attack every fourth turn. So every fourth turn you'll become immune to enemy's damage. However, on the first turn, which is turn 0, you will be immune to enemy's attack. So that's not too bad. Will work quite nice in GVG, especially if the final boss or the fourth boss is the most powerful boss. You get hit, you'll become immune, so you can actually survive the damage. So it's not too bad for GVG. It's okay for GVG. For the event, it's quite good as well. So overall, it's a really good supporting card. It's not going to be a main damage dealer because it doesn't boost only its own attack. So say if this card actually boosts all Light Slayer's damage by 550%, then boosts its own attack by say 300%. This card will be a really cracking card. But as it stands, it is a supporting card from my perspective. It's got we've got two debuff this week. We've got poison and we've got blind. So poison affects your health. It does etch away at your health and it can kill you. And you've got blind, which affects your ability to land damage, not deal damage but land damage. So you can basically swap your power gems, and each one of your cards on your deck could be doing like 50 quadrillion damage. It doesn't mean that all of that damage gonna be landed on the enemy if you're hit with blind. You might land just 50 quadrillion out of 250 quadrillion, or you might land absolutely nothing. So blind is something that it really needs to be dispelled. When it comes to poison can affect your deck if you haven't got a card to heal you quite. If you haven't got a good healer on board, it will affect the life of your deck, so your deck can die quite easily. If you've got revive, it won't be too bad because you've got cards out there can revive you twice. You got revive and you got last stand. However, I would say if you can dispel both debuff, it will be quite useful to dispel both debuffs. So all in all, I think this is a really nice ultimate form. I would say brilliant. I would say it could be quite better, but as it stands, I would say it's a really good ultimate form. Now the Master Collection card, Remnant Survivor, creates your power gem. So it will create 12 light power gem 8s. It's got a 3-turn cooldown, so every 3 turns when you activate the battle skill, you will get 12 power gems. And it gives you, it's the card that's gonna give you the immunity. So every 4th turn you will become immune to enemy's damage, and you will be immune on turn 0 as well. This one dispels blind. It's okay, it's not a brilliant ultimate form. However, this is Phantom Witch, and this one grants the next Light Slayer that activates their battle skill 550% damage buff. Now this card is a card that is far more useful than the Master Collection card. So the Ultra Rare is vastly more useful, vastly more powerful than the Master Collection card. And the reason why I say it's powerful is not that by itself it's powerful. It is powerful because it can give another card the ability to deal really decent damage, and that's the reason why I'm saying it's really a powerful supporting card because of its ability to give that 550% damage buff to another card. So all in all, this is a really good card comparing to the Master Collection card. Normally I don't look at the supporting card, but this week we're gonna take a look at the supporting card, Lady Phantom, and this one heals for 5,000% of hero recovery, and it creates 3 light gems whenever a hero activates their battle skill. So this card will be a really good healing card for those of you who are just starting out in the event. So it's something that if you're just starting out in the game, it's a card that you can use to heal up your deck. So this is your main hero, and your main hero creates 4 light power gem 5s, reduces damage taken from enemies attack by 25% for 1 turn. It's got a 3-turn cooldown, and it dispels blind. So that's all your main hero does. So I'm going to craft 1 copy of the ultra rare, and that should give me the ability. So I've got 70 coins remaining. I need 14 more coins to craft the ultimate form next week. I'll get 8 from the event, and I'll get 8 from the event next week, so I will be able to craft the ultimate form next week. So let's craft our ultimate form, and that is that. We are finished here, and then let's take a look at some cards. So let's start first with the cards that are going to give us the killer skill, light, and let's go for age, and we should have ultimate form up first. So the first of which is Apocalypse Hellboy. Apocalypse Hellboy is really a useless, it's got its use, but it's not really that useful. So Apocalypse Hellboy will apply a status called Straight Outta Hell for 3 turns, and it applies this to 3 Slayer heroes, and each Slayer hero when it attacks will create 1 light power gem 4. So that's not a lot of power gems, and it does give you a boost of 30% attack to all light Slayer heroes. So it's not going to be a very powerful ultimate form. It does create an ultimate gem, but that is neither here nor there. Courageous Wonder Workers is your next ultimate form that will give you the killer skill. This one is a bit better than Apocalypse Hellboy. It cleanses 4 debuff affecting your heroes. It becomes immune for 1 turn, and it increases Arcane Killer's attack by 250% plus 1% for every Arcane Killer intensity. So to actually get extra 100% attack increase, you'll have to have a 300 Arcane Killer intensity. So every 300 Arcane Killer intensity gives you 100% attack increase. So to get up to about 1,000, you need 3,000 intensity. So it builds quite slowly, if you get what I mean, but it is something that you could add to your deck to give your deck an extra boost. It's got a 4-turn cooldown, and it's got 1 passive on board. It begins the battle by pinching 2 non-earth gems into light gems. So it begins the battle by pinching 2 non-green gems into light gems. So it will change any gems that are not earth gems into light gems. Not really sure what that's all about anyway. Wasn't really sure when it first came out. This is Bewitching Conjurers, and Bewitching Conjurers is okay. It's better than the ones that came before it. It does create far more power gems and high level power gems. It creates power gem 6s. It creates about 10. So with its battle skill, it will create 4 and increase Light Slayer's attack by 20%, and this can be reset. So once you activate the battle skill, as long as you fulfill the criteria, it will refresh. So the criteria for refreshing the battle skill: once per turn, when you gem crush, it refreshes this hero's battle skill. It fulls the battle skill, and it resets the cooldown, so you can activate the battle skill again. So the battle skill can be activated twice each turn, and it's got 1 turn cooldown. So it will create 8 power gems when you activate the battle skill twice, for the first activation, for the second activation. It's also got a passive that creates 2 light power gem 6s at the start of each turn. So it actually creates 10 light power gem 6s. It's also unstoppable, so this card cannot be silenced, which makes it really, really good. And it cleanses 1 debuff from each Light Slayer at the start of the turn. So once you get hit with a debuff, it cleanses that debuff, but it only cleanses 1 debuff. The bosses now are running, some of the bosses are running 2 debuffs, so this only cleanses 1. And it cleanses blind. It removes blind with its counter skill, so it can remove blind with its passive, and it can remove blind with its counter skill. So that is really, really nice. And obviously you've got the current ultimate form. So those are your 4 ultimate forms that are going to give you the killer skill for this week. Cards that you could use: Circuit Breaker Illyria is an Arcane Killer card that gives Arcane Killer boost. So it increases Arcane Killer's attack by 200% plus an additional 10% per 20 Arcane Killer intensity, up to a maximum of 565% for 1 turn. If you have 8 or more Firepower Gem 1s or higher on the board, this is increased by 10 times. I've explained this battle skill on so many occasions. Don't really think I need to explain how it breaks down this battle skill and actually explains how it works, because there are many times when I've broken down this battle skill. I've broken it down with Supreme Santa, I've broken it down with this one, so not really gonna go through that today. The Jailers is an Arcane Killer card that will give you the boost as well. Last week it might have been used in some decks. It's wasn't used widely because it's not as powerful as when it first came out, because obviously a lot of these cards have been stealth nerf. What I mean by stealth nerf is when we first got Umbral Bosses was around about, they weren't as powerful. I wouldn't say powerful. They didn't have as much health as they've got now. They had about 60 to 70 quadrillion health. Now they're over 210 quadrillion health. So that is 3 times the amount of health that they had before. So a lot of the past ultimate forms or past decks are not going to be able to generate the amount of damage or attack that you need to take out these bosses. When you get I think it's an Inferno, you got Inferno and you've got Immortal, can't remember, but the bosses that you get just over 1, it's not quadrillion, it's the next number that come off of quadrillion. I think it's quintillion, but it's 1Q as well. So you have, when you get past quadrillion, I think you have quintillion. Can't remember the number that, if it's quintillion, but I know it's a Q, just like quadrillion. You've got boss with, I'm just going to call it quintillion. You've got bosses with 1 quintillion health. That's a massive amount of health. It takes a long time to kill it. But you've got people out there who got some really decent deck. All the ultimate forms are 6 pink stars and work on 5 times. They can do some massive damage. So that's the Jailers. Can be used alongside Circuit Breaker Illyria. Both cards are Arcane Killer and they boost Arcane Killer's damage. Metaverse Master is an obvious choice. It's going to give you 150% damage increase. You've got High Performance Unit Area, which is a card that you can possibly use alongside your Santa deck. Not the last Santa deck that we got, but the Santa deck before that, the Santa deck that we got in 2020. I think it's 2020 we got that Santa deck. Christmas 2020 we got that Santa deck. And Will of Kayopa. So Will of Kayopa is going to be a really, really useful card this turn, because it increases Light Slayer's attack by 700%. If you've got that 3 pink stars, it gives you 900%. If you've got that 6 pink star, it gives you, I think, 1100%. Could have got it up to 3 pink star because they had the Soul Store. I think it was yesterday and the day before. It's open on Saturday, so I could have bought the souls to take it up to 3 pink star. However, I think it's a bit too expensive. You could buy 1 master card soul or a master soul for around about 13 to 14 quid. but you couldn't buy Ultra Rare Soul for about 19 quid. You had to spend, I think it's about £90 to get 2 Ultra Souls and 3 Master Souls. Now that's quite expensive. I think they should make it where you could get 1 Master Soul for, I think it's about £16. And if you wanted an Ultra Soul, yeah, you could get your Ultra Soul for probably £20. That would be much better. Rather than your only possibility of getting 1 Ultra Soul is to spend almost £100. That is absolutely ridiculous. So those are some of the booster cards that you can choose to use. Cards in the Light Slayer side of things. Silent Knight is the card that I was talking about. You could use this as a main damage dealer in conjunction with Metaverse Master, and you could use High Performance Unit Area because it's an Immortal Killer. So that's one card that you could use. Supreme Elohim is a card that will give you 140% attack increase, and it does create more power gems as you use skills that gives you a damage buff or an attack buff. This one, Enlightened Disciples. This one, I'm not too impressed with this ultimate form. However, it does create quite a number of power gems. What it does is it for 1 turn increases Light Slayer's attack for 40% and gains the attack bonus buff. We all know what the attack bonus buff is. And then it doubles the amount of gem created by Masters of Elements for 1 turn. Now, Master of Elements is one of the passive on this ultimate form. Is the last passive that says on attack it converts all non-light power gems to light power gems, then creates 3 light power gem 6s. So it doubles the amount of power gem created by that passive. So that would be 6 power gems it will create when you activate the battle skill. I'm not gonna go through bonus attack. We all know what bonus attack is. The second passive creates 2 light power gem 7s each time a battle skill is used. So you've got 5 cards on board, including this one. So 5 2s is 10. So it creates 10 there. It creates an additional 6 with the passive if you activate the battle skill. So that's 16. So that's quite a bit of power gems on the board. What does this one dispel? This one dispels Judgment. Trap Masters will create 8 light power gem and increase Light Slayer's attack by 80% for 4 turns and become immune to enemies' attack for 1 turn. It's got a 4 turn cooldown. At the start of the battle, it creates 6 light power gem 6s. So with its battle skill, it creates 8. With that passive, that is a one-time passive. It only happens on the first turn. You create 14 power gems. Then with Chomper, it will create an additional 7. So that is 21 power gems this one is able to create, and it's got haste, which is really nice, can be quite useful as well. And then you got Drake Practitioners create 7 light power gem 7s, and if an attack or damage buff is activated, it upgrades all light power gems by 1 rank. So this is quite a nice card to use as well. However, that part of the battle skill doesn't happens every time you use an attack or damage buff. It only happens once. Increase it at the start of every 3rd turn. Increases Light Slayer's attack by 115% for 3 turns. So that happens every 3rd turn, but lasts for 3 turns, so it's constant. So that's quite nice. This one doesn't dispel anything that we've got this week. These are some older cards. We've looked at Courageous Wonder Workers already, so we'll unequip that one. This one, Lustrous Super Knight, I'm going to try this one out. It's an Immortal Killer card, just like the Santa card that I just showed you. It's not as powerful as the Santa card, mind you, even though it's at 6 pink stars. What I want to do with this card this week, because the last time we had a Light Slayer event was Christmas, and yeah, over the Christmas period, I think it was, or before Christmas, can't remember, but it wasn't last season, it was the season before. So the season before was just after Christmas. I was using this card and I used it in combination with Metaverse Master And part of this card's ability, if the entire board has been converted to a rainbow, in one turn increases Immortal Killer's attack by 300%. Now that passive doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. Never has, and I don't think it ever will work, because I have contacted Network on several occasions about that particular passive and they haven't fixed that bug, because they're not interested in past cards. They're not interested in older cards. Even though you might have spent your money to obtain those cards, they don't give a monkeys. They don't care. They're only interested in the deck that they're bringing out next. As long as they've sold enough of those, of whatever they're selling, they don't give a monkeys what happens after. They just move on to the next deck and the next deck and the next deck. They don't really care. So I'm not gonna let up until they actually fix the bug affecting this card, because it's part of the game, and I feel that you should basically honor your agreement. Each one of these cards is an agreement. This one, Enlightened Yokai, is a card that I really like. It's quite old, it's not very powerful, but I really like this card. Could be quite useful if you haven't got anything better. So those are some of the cards that you could use. When it comes to deck combination, I haven't really thought much about deck combination, but I know in my deck combination I will be using this Will of Kopai. I will be using the current ultimate form. Drake Practitioner is one that I think I might be using along with Supreme Elohim. So that's 1, 2, 3. Current ultimate form 4, and I'm not sure what's gonna be the 5th card. But I've got a copy of the ultimate form, the ultimate relic, which is quite nice. Ultimate relics are always nice to have, and did manage to take this one up to 3 pink stars, because what is in the Drill Fist Depot. So this week the Drill Fist Depot has got none other than Brothers in Banditry, and as you can see, all that's left in Drill Fist Depot for me this week is the support card, the main card, and the main relic. I've bought everything else because I've taken my Brothers in Banditry up to 5 pink star. Woohoo! And I've taken the relic up to 3 pink stars. So, and that's how I do it most of the time. When it comes to like the Proving Ground store, where is the Proving Ground store? I do make sure that I get something from the Proving Ground store. So if you look at the Proving Ground store, there's only John the Outlaw. I've actually bought the Master Collection card, and I'm really sorry that I can't get this ultra rare, because this ultra rare really come in handy to get up to 6 pink star. However, you can only craft 1 choice coin every season. There's about 12 seasons. Now there's more than 12 seasons in a year. I think in a year there's about 24 25 seasons, so you can only craft that amount of choice coins, and you can only craft about 12 ultimate forms, and in a year you get about 50, I think it's 50 ultimate forms you get within a year in this game. 50 ultimate forms, 25 commanders, 25 slayers, 50, and you can only craft 12 old ultimate form, because these are real old ultimate forms. Most of them don't even work as good as they used to. Okay, so that is it from me today. Tomorrow we'll do possible deck combination. Should you go after the deck, that is a personal choice, but I would recommend this deck because it's a really good utility ultimate form. Really good utility ultimate form, because alongside this 550 damage increase, you've got Will of Kopai that gives you 700. If you've got that 2 pink star, 1 pink star like myself, you get an extra 700% attack increase. So combine those two together, they will give a particular card. One will give the entire deck, and one will only give 1 card, and increase. They are really good utility cards to have. Will of Kopai and the current Ultimate Farm are two really good utility cards. So if you can get the current Ultimate Farm, do get it. So that's it for today. Join me tomorrow for possible deck combination. Like, subscribe, and as always, leave a comment in the comment section below. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and please leave a like on the video. It does help a lot. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.